So for those of you who don't know, we've got a huge crisis going on in Syria right now. It didn't just start, it's been going on for the past few years, but it's escalated to the point where 12 million Syrians have been forced to evacuate their homes. 4 million of which have left the country entirely, looking for a new place to live, at least until the chaos dies down. So what does the rest of the world do with all of these Syrian refugees? Over half of whom are children. The United States has only admitted in about 1,500 of them since the conflict began over 4 years ago. So why are we so timid to offer support? Quoting Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, let's face it, the reality of the situation is this refugee crisis is a symptom of the broader problem. The root cause of the problem is Islamic terrorists that have declared war on America. America, by attacking Syria. We'll look over how utterly nationalistic that is for the moment and continue with another quote. This one from Representative Brian Babin of Texas. I think it's high time we look at this. What this is going to cost us. And 90% of these refugees are going to be on federal welfare programs. Why is that a reason for not doing anything? They've had everything they've known, their entire home stripped away from them. And we won't offer a little food and shelter just for a bit of money? The main reason for our heartlessness is our fear that ISIS is going to infiltrate in the refugees some of their radical members that once inside the US will bring down the United States from within. Quoting Sean Hannity, the cusp of the American stereotype, I don't think we should take one of them. If they're an issue to American security and homeland security, we shouldn't take one of them. One of them. None. If they're an issue at all, if they're a risk at all, then we just classify all of them as a risk and say, screw you guys are going to be stuck over there, live it out, hope you live, maybe, I don't really care. Whatever country you're from, no matter how screwed up it is, whatever's going on, this is America, we have borders, we have laws, we don't allow immigrants, sorry, you might be another person, but you are from a different race. Racist, segregate us. I understand that this isn't a risk that we should just take lightly and just let them all in. We still need to obviously screen them and go through some kind of vetting process, but completely cutting them out, just saying that none of them are going to come in because there's a risk that some of them are going to be ISIS infiltrators. Like, there are some people that you know aren't going to be an ISIS infiltrator. There are some, most of them, like I said, are children. So, the smallest children, like, you know they're not going to be a frickin' ISIS infiltrator. You know? It's like, what are they going to infiltrate? What's an 8-year-old going to do? Like, he's not going to be able to cause any more damage than any other 8-year-old kid in America. What's he going to do? Go to the store and be like, hey, can I get, like, some anthrax? Think about making an anthrax bomb. Taking out that church across the street. Yeah, the plan. Like, no. He's not going to do that. Why are we so nationalistic that we just, like, focus on Americans? Like, they're the most important thing in the world. And then every other country, it's like, well, you're secondary. Sorry, you're not quite the same person. You're a person, but you just don't hold as much value to me because Americans are just... Like, what's so great about Americans? We do shit all the time. Yeah, why is immigration and just allowing people in the country in general such a shock to Americans? Like, why are we so freaking scared of everybody in the world? It's like, there's a few terrorists in the world spread out through so many people that are just like you, just like me. Like, why do we have to be like, oh, sorry, you're not American? Probably a terrorist then. Not gonna let you in. No, sorry. Like, why? What is the reasoning with that? Why is it bad if somebody's from a different part of the world? Like, what do you think is on the other side of the world? Like, does Satan live over there? It's like, is that where the devil is? Like, he just lives in Asia, and he lives in Africa, in Europe, but doesn't live in America because America's a Christian nation. But if you go south down to Mexico, that's where you'll start seeing Satan again. We gotta put up a huge wall. We gotta block him out. We gotta keep America a Christian nation. Like, what is he thinking? Keep going back on Donald Trump, but you just can't. stop when you see with the freaking shit that comes out of his mouth. He's just gonna build a great wall all the way down Mexico. Like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's just build a freaking wall and just lock them out that way. That sounds great. Like, that's what he wants to spend his money on. And then he talks about finances, like, oh, he's so freaking smart about it. Like, you're gonna spend how much freaking money on that? Like, how much are we gonna save from that? Is that a worthwhile investment? No, you're just segregating off America, because America is sacred. America's a Christian nation, and it can't be mixed with the other religions. It can't be mixed with the other societies and the other countries. We've got to stand above. We got to just keep telling ourselves that we're great. And even if the rest of the world gets better, as long as we don't look at it, as long as we just lie to ourselves, we won't even notice. Like, what the fuck is he thinking? We are Americans, but we are even more part of the human species. We should consider everyone as equals, not just people born in America. Everyone is just as legitimately human as you are, and not caring about them because they're from a different country is like, where were you raised? Who taught you? Like, who are your parents? Did your parents also believe that America kicks ass? Like, at what point did the immigrants that settled in America stop teaching their children that we came from another country and other immigrants should have the freedom to be here too? Like, at what point did we just like focus on, okay, well, now we're Americans, completely different than the rest of the world, we're better, we have been founded on a Christian nation for a very long time. Founded on a Christian nation? It was founded with the freedom of religion. Like, why do we think that Muslims don't have the right to live here? It's like, that is the number one law. That is the main amendment in the Constitution. Is religious freedom. Like, seriously. Like, you guys are so focused on right to bear arms, the Second Amendment. It says it so plainly. And then it's like, oh, Muslim wants to come in? Nope, they don't have freedom. They don't get their religious freedom here. Sorry, this is America. That we were founded on a Christian nation. No other religions allowed. Like, are you seriously gonna sit there and make those two arguments side by side? Well, I guess maybe that's the problem with America. We all think we're so freaking great. We're all thinking we're so freaking genius. Like, no. Have you thought about anything for yourself? We've just been getting it shoveled in. It's like, we have to have some idea of truth. We don't just accept non-explanation for something. It's like either global warming is true or it isn't true. Nobody's like, there's not very many people that are just completely don't know and they just leave that open. They fill it with some kind of answer. Like, and then as soon as you fill it, it's like, oh, it takes like a frickin' freight train to move that. Like, why is it so hard to move that? How much evidence did it require to put it into place? But it takes like 12 times the amount of evidence to move it. It's like, once it's locked into your brain, you're so conceited on, oh, I'm a genius. I wouldn't have accepted that if it wasn't true, so therefore it must be true. Like, no. You need to think about things. You need to consider things for yourself. Immigration reform is definitely a requirement. It is definitely something that we should be working on, because why do we focus so much on our own country? Why are we so nationalistic? Like, shouldn't we be, as a world, like as the Earth civilization in general, just be focused on a goal as people, as one species, be like, whatever that goal is, all of us can focus on it. Like, why are we also completely focused on other things? Like, why are we so focused on our own lives? Like, are we seriously so short-sighted to see, oh, we're not gonna die sometime? Like, can't we just try to leave something behind? It's like, I know that's probably cliche, but just calling it cliche and titling it as that doesn't mean it's not true, that that would be a far more efficient, far more productive society than our own, and just calling it cliche doesn't mean that's something that we shouldn't try to do. Like, it's cliche. Old news, man. Old news. Like, we should still be trying. Like, why wouldn't each of us be trying for that? Woo! Alright, you guys. Thanks for joining me on this video. I know it's kind of a rant, and I know it's kind of critical toward Americans. Just don't take it too personally. I just think it's important for us all to recognize the areas that we could improve ourselves and see the world a little bit more clearly and less biased. And, you know, more questioning is always better in life. Definitely. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate your subscription. If you didn't enjoy it, don't worry about it. Whatever you want to do is totally cool. Thumbs ups are great. Commenting's awesome. I will reply to you. If you don't want to talk, whatever. That's cool too. Sharing, it's amazing, as always. And yeah, guess I'll see you in the next video. If you come around again. That's why if you subscribe, you don't have to worry about coming around again. Just kind of have it show up in your feed and like, yo, there's that weird dude that talks with like a trillion accents that I don't like. Why doesn't he just talk like a normal person? I don't know how, huh? Never was taught that. My mama didn't tell me.